today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Why are you here?
To save my daughter from that monster.
Does Mother know best?
To have a man say, "Christina, come," like a dog. And she turned right around and ran. He's afraid of something, and it's me. It's me.
I'm a little afraid myself. What is your evidence that she has been brainwashed?
She thought Troy was going to be so upset.
Hey, no, do not take the bait. You can't be that dumb. Today's going to be a changing day in your life. You've never had anybody working harder to bring you to the threshold of change than right now. Thank you very much. Well, as most of you know, I have a podcast called Fill in the Blanks, P-H-I-L in the blanks, where I shoot the breeze with some of my friends. Well, today's guest, Dawn, says her daughter Christina's fiance, Troy, also produces a podcast where he shares his opinion on various issues. Here are some snippets.
Well, I always say that. Don't ever trust a woman with short hair.
No.
She either has too many kids or she's freaking crazy. A pure white baby nowadays doesn't go for very much.
Yeah, no.
You need one from another country.
Could you trade it for another baby, though?
2 white babies for 1 Chinese baby.
Well, Dawn says she is not impressed by Troy, who is 17 years older than her daughter, and claims that his words reveal the kind of person he is. A man who talks like a 4th grader and who is, quote, fat and ugly as all get out. Christina's half-sister, Alicia, agrees, claiming Troy is controlling, violent, and purposely keeping her sister Christina away from the family. Take a look.
My daughter, Christina, has been dating Troy for 3 years. He still sits and plays video games and yells at the baby when the baby interrupts him. The relationship is so toxic.
Troy is 17 years older than my sister and has completely brainwashed her.
What do they even have in common? Just the baby, that's it. Troy is uneducated with a 4th grade reading level, overweight, dresses like a 12-year-old. Beauty and the Beast says it all, because I don't understand what she sees in him.
Shortly after Christina told me she was pregnant, we got into a text message argument. I told her not to come to my wedding and that I didn't want Troy in our lives. 2 weeks later, someone had broken into our house. I suspected my sister and Troy immediately.
I've witnessed a lot of his behavior in person. One time, Troy called the police and said I assaulted him. He got into my space, and I claimed my space by puffing my chest out, and my breast touched his chest. Do you think my little B cups are gonna hurt a 300-pound man?
My motivation in all of this is for Christina and her daughter's safety.
Christina told me she was planning on leaving him, and Troy's response was, "I will kill you if you try to leave."
At this point, I haven't really known Christina for the past 3 years.
I believe she's enabling him to keep him from looking like the bad guy. This situation is not going to end well, and someone is going to get hurt.
Okay, so your concern is that you think your daughter Christina's life is in danger,
Yes.
or certainly that she is in danger of being physically injured.
Yes, his outbursts are violent, and I have seen that. So what
Okay,
makes me think he isn't going to do that to her?
And you've seen it where, how? What was it you observed?
He attacked me and accosted me. He ran to me after picking up the baby, got 4 inches from my face, and told me I wasn't going to talk to his Christina that way because I told her no, I wouldn't sit down. I couldn't understand why he accosted me. I tried to make light of it, and I said, "What are you going to do about it?" And I stood up tall and puffed out my chest like a man, and my breasts barely brushed his chest. He called the police to have me arrested for assault. I'm 5'2", he's 6'3", and I can't understand. Can't even go back to their house ever. If I ever go to their house and visit my daughter or granddaughter, I will be arrested for trespassing.
Okay, and you two are declared anti-Troy, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Once you're declared as his adversary, how should he respond to that? Hey, y'all come in. Yo, here, I know you hate me. Come on over.
Right. Well, we didn't start off that way.
I didn't ask you if you started out that way. I'm saying that now that you are, what do you expect him to do?
Well, he can't change because liars don't change. Liars are liars.
Does that mean you're
liars.
not going to answer the question?
No. What do I expect him to do? I don't expect him to change. I'd like him to leave the picture. I'd like him to be out of my daughter's life and stop controlling everything she does, controlling who she speaks to.
You understand the question, right?
Yes.
You just don't want to answer it?
Well, I do understand it. I want him to leave.
Okay. You understand the question, you just don't want to answer it.
No, I understand the question.
Then
You said, what do you want him to do? I want him to leave.
I said, what do you expect him to do? You are his declared adversaries.
It doesn't...
Do you expect him to embrace that and say, I know you're going to come over and trash talk me. Come on in. Come on, spend some time with her.
We didn't ever trash talk him until he robbed her and had me arrested. And lied about his age, lied about being married, lied about being sterile. He lied about all those things, and a liar is a liar. He is the one that made this mess.
You must have spent a lot of time with him.
No, my daughter called me on a regular basis at the very beginning because she was afraid. He said he'd kill me if I tried to leave. He said he'd have custody of that daughter, and he'd never get her.
Well, that wasn't at the beginning.
At the beginning, he just was controlling.
Can you answer the question?
I don't want anything to do with him. And I don't really see having a relationship with him. I expect that he's not going to like us in return.
Listen,
if somebody doesn't like you, then you don't like them.
I'm not stating obvious. I'm trying to get you guys to acknowledge if you have become a declared adversary, if you said, I don't like you, you're a liar, you're no good, I want you gone, you're worthless, terrible, bad, why wouldn't he change the number? Why wouldn't he bar you from the house? Why wouldn't he protect his wife from your influence?
He's not trying to
want to
protect
have
her.
any kind of relationship with your daughter, why wouldn't you try to manage that situation instead of alienate?
We didn't alienate anybody. He alienated her from every friend.
Oh, yeah, it sounds like you're really cozying up to him.
He wouldn't let her talk to any of us unless she recorded the conversation so he could hear it. I've never expect one of my daughters to have a man say, Christina, come, like a dog. And she turned right around and ran. And we all just looked. That's not what a woman does.
You said you checked out Troy's background, and you emailed the producer. You said, check out his police record. He already did 4 to 6. You said you didn't buy the whole report. Your daughter's life is on the line, and you didn't want to spend $1.95 to get the whole thing?
No, I didn't think it would go this far. She was already telling me she was going to leave him.
We did get the whole report. We scraped up to $1.95, and there was a misdemeanor probation violation.
I saw that one.
Then he was charged with statutory rape. It was when he was 19 at a club, and there was a girl there that was 15, and it got pled down to contributing to the delinquency of a minor because this was an 18 and over club, and she was in the club.
There's a big difference between an 18-year-old and a 15-year-old. You can tell by looking at them. One looks like a child, one looks like an adult. I don't know how many 15-year-olds can pull off 18.
That used to be the case. Well, Dawn says she has not seen or spoken to her daughter Christina since the big blow-up in May. We'll hear what she has to say when she comes out here after the break.
By the time I found out I was pregnant, I decided to start working as a webcam model. Alicia had moral objections to the kind of work that I was doing. She didn't even want me attending her wedding.
Tomorrow, desperate to go viral.
I am the female Drake. And whether people choose to believe it or not, they will see it soon.
But how far is too far?
My daughter went and got a tattoo on her forehead that said, my.
I'm Telly Zelly. I don't mean
You make it possible for her to live in fantasy land.
That's cool.
And believe that she's some kind of rap genius. You're not helping.
That's tomorrow. Then, on Friday, dangerous and deadly butt procedures. She was murdered. And black market injections.
She was leaking oil, pus.
I want to ask Dr. Phil what is in my butt.
That's Friday.
Since Christina has been with Troy, her behavior has been more than peculiar.
After I found out Christina was pregnant, she was doing webcam modeling every day, 3 times a day. Initially, Troy was involved in doing the videos with her, and then Christina started doing them on her own.
On one occasion, she was hollering in her living room. She needed an automatic weapon in case the government took him over. I think she got it from Troy and his lovely podcast. He apparently wants to change everything about her because she's never been paranoid before.
Well, Dawn claims her daughter Christina's fiance Troy threatened to kill Christina, makes her record all phone conversations, and treats her like a possession. Now, Christina says her fiance has taught her a lot about business since he's 17 years older, and her mother's claims are just unfounded and ridiculous, her words. Take a look.
The real family issues are between me, my mom, and my sister. Ever since I've been with Troy, they have used him as a scapegoat for any of the decisions I've made that they don't personally agree with.
I first met Troy when I was getting out of another relationship. Troy is 17 years older than I am. Within the first year of dating Troy, I got pregnant with our daughter.
When I told my parents the news of my pregnancy, they didn't tell me congratulations. They berated me with questions surrounding my pregnancy and whether or not I was going to be happy with my choice. By the time I found out I was pregnant, I had become unemployed. I decided to start working as a webcam model. Alicia had moral objections to the kind of work that I was doing. Because of that, she couldn't have me in her life anymore. She didn't even want me attending her wedding. Troy does sometimes lose his temper, but he's never put me or my daughter at any risk. Troy has never hurt me, intimidated me, and he has never lied to me. I did speak to my mother about disagreements that Troy and I had had. Never did I mention to my mother him being physically violent. Troy is my rock. I want my mom and my sister to accept my relationship with him and understand that's the person I want to be with. If nothing changes, I'm willing to cut those ties with my family before I sacrifice my peace at home with Troy and my daughter.
Are you being dominated? Have you lost your will to think and feel and make decisions?
Absolutely not. I am very much in control of my own life, and I get to make a lot of decisions, not for myself, but for my entire family.
Why would they just make all this stuff up?
I think the reason that they're lying is because they want to cover up their own mistreatment of me.
Is she lying, or is this a misperception?
Right. I'm not lying.
Is she reading the situation wrong?
I think it could be both, but there's certain things that she just spoke about, in particular saying that Troy was going to kill me. That is a lie. It's also a lie that he got in her personal space. She actually ran from my dining room across my living room and started screaming in my face to try to de-escalate the situation. I took 3 steps back, and when I did, she said, "What, are you afraid?" And she, again, took a few steps forward to get in my face, at which point Troy stood up behind me with our 2-year-old in his arms and said, "You're not gonna speak to my wife like that in her own house." She, my mother...
You're not his wife.
You're not his wife. And he didn't say that. He said, you're not going to talk to my Christina that way. You stayed seated.
That's a lie.
And I was standing because my knees hurt.
Are we here to talk about what word he used to describe me? Or are we here to talk about how you put my 2-year-old's life in danger by getting physical? No one laid so much as a finger on you. Not one person.
I didn't get physical. All I did was stand up for myself.
That's a lie, and you're lying.
Put my chest out, and my breasts bumped his chest.
If he's standing stationary and you move towards him, then yes.
I didn't take a step.
That's a lie. You're lying, and if you don't think you're lying, then you're delusional, and you're living in your own delusion.
You never got up off the couch.
That's a lie.
Well, did you escalate that situation?
No, she asked me to come into the living room. It was not a private situation. There were many people there. She sat down and wanted me to sit next to her.
I wouldn't want to be in private
I wanted to
with
sit
you.
down.
You're the only one anywhere on this show today that had laid a finger on me. So I wouldn't want to be alone with you.
Well, I spanked your behind when you were 5.
You shoved me out in front of my house after this argument happened.
I didn't touch you.
That's a lie.
Matter of fact, well, I don't think we were more than 10 feet apart, because when we got really close together, Troy got nervous and said, Christina, come! And you turned right around like a dog, walked across the front yard, up the steps, and went in the house. And would not let you have a conversation.
I was not
with
there,
your mother.
thankfully.
I get the feeling that she's trivializing her contribution to the confrontation.
I could have done something different other than chest bump the man. But
wait,
Dr.
I thought
Phil,
you said you didn't chest bump him. Now you
all I did was do this. I didn't have to take a step forward. He
That's
was
not
in my
possible.
face.
I took 2 steps back.
He was in my face so close.
So you're saying
all
you
I
never
had to
said,
do was
what,
go
are
like
you
this.
scared?
That's it. And my chest
But if
bumped
he's
his.
stationary, then you're still coming towards him.
I had tried to talk to him on 4 occasions. He wouldn't make eye contact with me. He'd turn around and run away. He's afraid of something. And I'll tell you what it is, it's me. Because I'm going to show his true colors. You watch. It's all going to happen. You're going to see it. You're going to see him for the dirtbag he is. He doesn't deserve you. You are smart,
I think
beautiful.
I'm too good for you to be in my life. I think
Well,
I'm too good to have you in my life.
I'm a little afraid of you myself.
Should be.
I mean, really, I watch how people interact and behave here because it's really a mirror to how they behave out there.
You notice I don't feel the need to lean forward. I don't feel the need to scream because I know what I'm saying is the truth.
Well,
no matter what he does to you, I love you.
Dawn says when she first met Christina's fiance, Troy, he did not make eye contact. She says someone who doesn't make eye contact has something to hide. Well, we're going to ask Troy if that's true because we're going to meet him next.
I have no idea why Dawn and Alicia would have an issue with me. I can take it if they don't like me as a person, but it's affecting Christina and my daughter. Those are the 2 most important things about me. When they're hurt, I'm hurt.
My sister did not know that I was going to secretly record her reaction to the announcement of my pregnancy. It was originally Troy's idea to record our family members' reactions.
We're having a baby. Ooh. Get down, auntie. Troy wanted a recording because he wanted to know who was supportive of their relationship and who wasn't.
Christina informed me that she had been recording our conversations and playing them back for Troy. I believe Troy asked for that so he could alienate her further by saying, look, your whole family and friends don't like me.
Well, that would be true. Dawn and Alicia believe Christina is being brainwashed by her fiance, Troy, who happens to be 17 years older. Now, Troy says he's confused as he's only met Alicia 1 time and doesn't have much in common with Dawn.
Christina has fractured relationships with her mom, Dawn, and her sister, Alicia. I don't think it's my fault. I haven't done anything wrong. I have no idea why they would have an issue with me. The first and only time that I met Alicia was when I was helping Christina move out of her ex-boyfriend's house. It was a short interaction, brief, and seemed pretty positive. Finally, Dawn came to visit after 2 years for my daughter's birthday. Christine told her mother to please be a little more considerate of our time. Dawn said, you are ruining my vacation. I told her she needed to get out. She then jumped up with the baby in my arms and chest bumped me like a man in a bar and said, I'll beat both your asses. Police, they charged her with trespassing. She was not allowed to come back. I can take it if they don't like me as a person, but it's affecting Christina and my daughter. Those are the 2 most important things about me. When they're hurt, I'm hurt. I think that Christina is very amazing, and she holds our life and our family together. We complement each other in a way that very few people do. From what Christina tells me, she loves our life now. She cherishes every minute of it. I never want to be the reason that Christina ever looks back and regrets anything. I want to marry Christina as soon as possible. She wants her family there, but right now that seems impossible.
First, I'll ask you, since everybody else has had an opportunity to have the floor and speak, is there anything that you've heard so far that just jumps out at you that you feel the need to respond to?
Yeah, just a really disillusioned woman that I feel sad for. I really feel sad for you.
You're the one that's alienated her from everyone who loves her so that she could feel that... You alienated her from her whole family by having abruptive disputes with us.
Disputes with you?
You had me arrested.
Hold on, when you came to my house and we had a meal, when you came down for a wedding 2 days before my daughter was born, and we had a meal together, when you were there the day before, when I put a business that we're growing from my future wife and my daughter, a business that I'm growing, when I stopped our life to let you come into our house, into our home, to make time for you to come down here, because that's when you picked.
You
2 years
gave me
later,
2 days.
when you left,
you wouldn't even make eye contact with me the whole time.
I make contact. I have no problem looking at you. The problem is I'm sorry for you.
You saw me when I came there to visit your family. You walked in the door and you said, I haven't got time for this. Why did you keep walking away?
Insane.
Why can't you look at me?
Because you're trying to instigate a fight. You're 53 years old, and you said, and I quote, I'm going to kick Troy's ass. You screamed that out front of my house in a residential neighborhood.
I did not.
You say you think she's delusional. You believe she's distorting what happened? You believe that she's distorting reality?
No, not distorting. She is she lives in her head a different life than what goes on the planet.
I have this thing. It's called integrity. I am a notary public. I worked for the state and the federal government. People trust me.
What's your job? You work? What's your job?
This guy is trusted by no one. Not his family. He doesn't have any friends. Ask him what he's read lately. He doesn't even have any friends.
Really, his family doesn't trust us? One of them's here today.
You told her she couldn't talk to even your family without your permission.
We're going
so disillusioned.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, I'm going to look at some of the specific things that you allege have happened or are qualities of this individual and see what the basis that you have for them is. And you can help out here. We'll be right back.
Troy has a criminal record as long as my arm. I don't trust him any farther than I can throw him. Some of the charges I found started out with statutory rape, then he got driving while impaired, and then when they took his driver's license away, he got a ticket for driving without his license. I don't even know if Christina knows about this.
I do have a criminal conviction. I had met someone in a club. I had no idea this person was underage. I was charged with delinquency of a minor.
Christina says that despite what her mother, Dawn, thinks, her fiancé, Troy, is not a criminal, and they are living their best life together, running a business, raising a child, and loving each other. You never were around them for 2 years after they got together, right? So did you not meet him for 2 years?
No, she met me. She met me right when we got together, right when she came down. She met me.
You did meet, but then it was 2 years before you were back again. And is that
briefly, we had a dinner together in a restaurant.
Okay, and then it was 2 years and then you were together. Is that when you got thrown out of the house?
Mm-hmm.
It was at our house in a restaurant?
No, it was a restaurant.
Grilled on the backyard.
Oh, no, I didn't eat any of that food. I didn't eat with you that night. I didn't eat any of that food. You didn't notice?
Whether you ate or not, you were there.
Seriously, is that what we want to spend our time talking about? Is whether you ate a rib in the backyard or not?
Well, listen, I didn't alienate us from her. He alienated her from us. This girl needs to understand this man does not deserve her. She's smart, hardworking, a good mother. She keeps a great house.
Why are you
does
here?
a business. Why am I here?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't deserve her. He is taking advantage of her. He is using her life skills to better himself, and he's riding on her coattails, and he has nothing to offer my daughter. Nothing.
Why are you here?
To save my daughter from that monster.
Do you want something from me?
No, yeah, I want you to help me save my daughter from that monster.
Now, you made comments early on.
My daughter, Christina, has been dating Troy for 3 years.
You say that like it is an indictment. What is your point? You lead with that. You say, my daughter has been dating him for 3 years.
And in 3 years, I haven't been able to make a relationship with the boy because when I try to talk to him, he walks away. He was afraid of me at the get-go. I don't understand why, before he ever met me. He interrupts him. The relationship is so toxic.
Troy is 17 years older than me.
The relationship is so toxic. What proof do you have of that?
She called me and said he was going to kill her if she tried to leave.
Is that true?
No, it's not true at all.
I didn't make it up. I never make things up.
Okay. No.
I'm only repeating what my daughter told me when she was concerned.
My sister and has completely brainwashed her.
What do they even have in common?
Okay, he's completely brainwashed her. What proof do you have of that?
She's not acting the way she did 3 years ago when she met him. She's not acting like a competent person. She has to ask his permission to do everything.
You said he has completely brainwashed her. Words are very powerful. He has completely brainwashed her. What proof do you have of that?
She doesn't like her mother. She's loved her mother her whole life. We've been good friends all through adulthood.
That's not true.
Apparently, she was a bad mother.
You don't take it. No, do not take the bait. You can't be that dumb.
Oh, he is?
You've made an allegation that he has completely brainwashed her, and so you treat that as though it's a fact.
Yes,
I'm just asking you to share with me the factual basis you have for that. And you said because she acts differently. Well, it's been 3 years. She has evolved. She now is a mother. She has her own nuclear family. Things have changed. What is your evidence that she has been brainwashed?
She thought she had made a grave mistake and that Troy was going to be so upset simply because her daughter swallowed something she shouldn't have. Like no baby's ever swallowed something they weren't supposed to swallow. But apparently, she was a bad mother. And you told her that she shouldn't let that stuff happen. And she's supposed to watch her more closely. And I get the impression you've never watched that little girl for more than a couple hours.
Okay, don't take the bait. Do not take the bait. You can't be that dumb.
Oh, he is? He is?
Don't take that bait. Don't take that bait. Now, Alicia.
I can answer your question, Dr. Phil.
Please.
I have seen a different side of my sister since she's been with Troy.
Okay.
I don't think it's ever her dream to sell used appliances.
Which one to do?
No, let her.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm doing this. See up there? It says Dr. Phil, Dr. Phil, Dr. Phil.
Just the baby, that's it. Troy is uneducated with a 4th grade reading level.
I think he's pretty handsome, don't you guys?
He has a 4th grade reading level. And how did you determine this?
Talking to him, his vocabulary.
And you're qualified in what way?
I know how big words are. And if you can't say ones that are more than 2 syllables, you're at a 4th grade reading level.
You say that he has brainwashed her. If he is, you describe him as being about as sharp as mashed potatoes. Okay, you say he reads and writes maybe at a 4th grade level. Do you have any idea what a sophisticated cognitive process it is to get mind control of someone? Do you realize what's involved and how layered it gets to brainwash someone?
They're on that road. It won't be long, and she'll be completely subdued.
But somebody that has a 4th grade reading level.
Oh, but he did it to his first wife. He started a business with her and abandoned her and left her with all the debt.
That's not true.
Hold on. Don't you think that those things are kind of inconsistent?
No, if that's the only thing he knows how to do is ride a woman's coattails, then he's going to do it. And he's going to do it over and over again.
But how is he smart enough to achieve this
to find somebody that's younger
than him? This mind control that requires real cognitive agility.
Well,
how is he able to do that if he doesn't know how to read?
You alienate them from everybody else.
I mean, how does he know that if he's not smart enough to read 4th grade books?
Repetitive behavior. I don't know how he learned to do it, but obviously...
It seems inconsistent, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, really?
Lowlifes learn to do criminal
Dawn says
activity.
Christina has become insecure, but could Dawn be the real source of that insecurity? And does she want to change things, or is she just a right fighter? We'll be right back. Coach Mike Baer is with us. Coach Mike is the author of the New York Times best-selling book, Best Self, Be You Only Better. Now, Coach Mike is, as the name implies, a life coach. A lot of people declare themselves to be a life coach just because they say, I'm a life coach. And then there are people that have credentials and training and experience and real depth and breadth of work with all kinds of people. And the difference between a life coach and a therapist is a life coach assumes that there's not necessarily mental illness involved. They just assume that there are non-productive behavioral patterns, a lack of things that need to be done, the presence of things that need to not be done. And so I've asked him to look at this situation with me. Now, clearly, she's not being her best self here. We know that. I think you would agree with that. She's not being her best self here. And I'm not asking you to pick sides here. But if this relationship is going to heal between these two, does she need to keep doing what she's doing, or does she need to do something differently, behaviorally?
From a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you are so coachable, and 1 being not coachable at all, how would you rate yourself?
5.
Okay, so you're coachable. And would you agree that what you're doing right now is not getting the response you want?
No, it isn't.
It's not.
But it's not my first attempt. I've tried 3 other avenues.
But it's not working.
But none of them have worked.
Okay, and even if you're right, the reaction you're getting is wrong.
Right.
And what you're getting in your life is wrong.
The rest of my life is fine, just this relationship.
Okay. And if you're wrong about this situation, the reaction that you're getting is wrong.
Right now, yes.
Okay. So in this, do you...
Hold on. Did you hear what he just said? Because he said, if you're right, the way you're handling it is wrong. If you're wrong, the way you're handling it is wrong. So either way, you're wrong.
I'm wrong about how I'm handling it.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's why I'm here.
Okay,
I need your tools.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. He's saying, if you're right, if this guy's like evil incarnate, the way you're handling it is wrong. Even if you're right that he's horrible, the way you're handling it is wrong. And if you're wrong that he's not evil incarnate, the way you're handling it is wrong. So either way, whether you're right or wrong, the way you're handling this is wrong. That's your point.
That is my point.
Right?
Right.
She's wrong.
She's wrong. So we have to handle things differently. If you want to get a different response, you have to change. So, Dr. Phil, I think we need to come up with some solutions.
Well, let's decide first. Do you want a relationship with your daughter?
Yes.
I mean, not qualified, just do you want a relationship with your daughter? Do you want a relationship with your sister?
Yes.
If she has made a bad decision here and she's going to scrape her knee, then you need to let her scrape her knee, right? That's your point. You can't do anything about it anyway. She's an adult, so you're no longer a controller. You don't have, if she was 15 or 14, then you have the power to control. But once she's an adult, all you can do is influence and inspire.
I tried that. It didn't work.
Yeah, listen, don't be one of those yeah, but know-it-alls. Because no matter what anybody says, you say, yeah, but I did that. Yeah, but I did that. Yeah, but I did that. Yeah, but. You're a yeah, but. Don't be a yeah, but, because there are things you haven't tried. It's possible that we can give you some new tools or teach you how to use tools you may have tried before a different way to get a different result. But we have to decide, you do want a relationship with your daughter.
Yes.
And if it was healthy, you would like them back in your life, right?
I would love that.
Okay, so you want it, and you want your sister back in your life, right?
Yes.
Your enthusiasm is underwhelming, but, I mean, really.
Some issues.
Of course,
right.
but they're not anything that can't be solved.
That's right.
Come on.
Yes, I agree.
So, Mike, if we have people here that do want a relationship, and I'm not saying that you may ever get to the point where you say, this is who I would pick.
Oh, no, it's not my job.
Yeah, isn't it just possible? Isn't it just possible that there may be things about him you don't know?
Oh, yeah.
And isn't it just possible there might be qualities about him you don't appreciate?
Probably.
And isn't it possible that, for example, that if they were walking down the street in L.A. and somebody stepped up and accosted her, that he probably would be willing to step into the fray and die for her?
No.
Yeah, I think you're wrong. And if somebody was going to fool with her, don't you think he would be a pretty good old boy to be there at the spot? Don't you think he might be a pretty good guy to show up at the scene if that was going to happen? He has certain qualities.
Really, where? Tell me where they are. What qualities are they?
Well, that's why it's good that you're a 5.
She has called me on this girl. Christina has called me on numerous occasions.
Yeah, okay, we're through talking about that. See, I'm a pretty good Georgia horseflesh. He's not perfect, but I got a feeling that you're probably more than a 5. You're willing to be coached, right?
Yes, sir.
And if you guys are going to get married, then you probably need some premarital counseling. You need some things that can help you guys program yourself for success. Mike, I mean, you run CAST Centers, which is a treatment facility here, and you guys provide life coaches for people. And I'm asking, would you do that with these guys here? Would you provide coaches to try and behaviorally coach these people to success?
We would absolutely provide coaching with goals every week and feedback and processing and changing this dynamic so that the legacies that continue are healthier and more of what you want. So we would love to help them.
If you're open to trying to improve the situation, then I'm willing to provide those resources for you. Will you do that? Will you take that help?
Yes, I'd be eagerly.
And you will take that help, right?
Yes.
And you will take that help. Everybody, right? Okay. Well, we're gonna stop there because this is going to get into character assassination if we don't. I know when to shut up. That's now. I want to thank all my guests today, and a special thanks to CAST Centers and Coach Mike Baer. You can get his book, Best Self, Be You Only Better, anywhere books are sold. You can follow me on Instagram. And here's what some viewers said about, I think, my last Instagram post. Glasses or no glasses? Comments. My friend Jesse Palmer from Daily Mail TV said, don't hide that moneymaker. What the hell does that mean? This one said, Phil, you are a creature of magnificence. Whatever you wear looks great on you. So don't hide your beauty. Apparently, that person needs glasses. Kate said, you can totally rock either. Holden said, either way, you're a legend. Thanks, Mom. You can message me at Dr. Phil if you have some feedback about my podcast, Fill in the Blanks. I may share them here. We'll see you next time.